So next is my Dendrobiums. It's a nobile type Dendrobium. Very fragrant flowers. I don't really know the name of it, but yeah, they're quite beautiful. Alright, some more nobile types. I bought these two at the same time, and I didn't know what the flowers look like. They're quite cute again. This one, you can see, has spotting on its petals, and that's called oddities. It happened because, actually it happened because of the rain, but it happens every time flowers get splashed with water and the fungus sets in the puddles of water on the flower. So it's a fungal disease. It doesn't harm the plant, but it ruins the appearance of the flower. So those two unknown nobile types. And this is Stardust Firebird. I've got it as a present. It had horrible media and was blooming at the time, so I didn't repot it. And as soon as I repotted it, it started growing these cakeys, and it had no roots, so I didn't know if it was going to survive. But as you can see, it did quite well, and it's got lots and lots and lots of cakeys. And one more thing, that's what happens when you don't stake the canes at the right time. Now it's all floppy, and I cannot put it anywhere because it's not standing on its own. And these canes are already rigid, and I cannot really do much with them now. Now my Cattleyas types. This is the newest one. It's got tiny little yellow flowers, non-fragrant. And again, when I got it, it had no roots. And now it's got tiny little new growth, and those sheaths there, and I think they're empty. But anyway, it's survived, and so it's gonna bloom anytime. If not this year, then maybe next. This one is new as well. And it grew this new growth in spring, but since I keep them inside over the winter, they don't get enough light, and it had a sheath in there, but it didn't bloom. And now it's growing this new growth, and it's quite late in the year, so I don't think it's gonna bloom this year. Now this one, it bloomed for me last year, but the growth was quite smaller than the previous ones, because again it had no roots when I got it, and now it's doing crazy things, growing roots on the leaves. And it grew a new growth this year, but again it grew inside, and it didn't even have a sheath, so it didn't bloom. And now it's growing this new growth, and it had some snail damage, but it was only on the outer sheath, so, or bract, whatever you call it. And it didn't do much damage to the plant itself, so it's okay. And this one, actually it had more medium, but birds decided to pick it for some reason. I bought it at the same time as this one, but I repotted them at the same time, and it had new growth, but it didn't have any roots starting, so it was set back quite a bit, and as you can see, a few pseudobulbs got, how is it called? They dried out because they were used, the energy was used in them, so they died, and it kind of suffered for a long time before it started growing again. And those two are this year's growth, again, this one grew inside, so it didn't bloom, and this one grew outside, and as you can see, we have buds for the very first time, so I'm very happy about that. Okay, next are my mounted orchids. This is Epidendrum porpax, and it's got sheaths, and some of them already has something inside them. Don't know if you can see it. Yeah, maybe you do. It's teeny tiny little nubbing thing there. So it's gonna bloom soon, which is very nice. And this is Dendrobium unicum. It's kind of going into dormancy. It stopped growing roots now, and it's losing its leaves. So I should reduce the watering now. And it's got some nubbings on sides, so maybe I'm gonna get some blooms too. Next, it's Mediocalcar decoratum on a horrible mount. I mounted it because I think it looks better mounted because it's kind of growing in this creeping pattern, and it's got roots under, if you can see there. So it's like a creeping rhizome with leaves everywhere and roots growing from all parts of it. So. And next, it's a Aquagenera order. It's a Phleophila pleuratolopsis. And I had some worries about it because it didn't have any roots, and I still don't see any roots growing. But now it started growing new growth, so it should be okay. There's one new growth there, and there's one there, and some in the back here, so it should do fine. So speaking of Aquagenera, I've ordered 6 plants in total, and I live in Lithuania, so it's in Europe, and as you know, it takes quite a long time for plants to come halfway around the globe. So, and it was very hot when they came, so I didn't know if they were going to survive. And if you know, Aquagenera sends their plants per root, and I've ordered some Masdevallias, and they lost a lot of leaves on their way and pretty much all of their roots. But as you can see, they're growing quite nicely. This one actually had some slugs, and it got slugs here, not from Aquagenera. It's a Masdevallia, it's all Bruckneri, yeah. And it was the first plant to start to grow, but slugs ate all away the new growth, so I was kind of worried about that one. And the others are doing fine, and I've got Restrepia and the Stellis from them. So Stellis is in spike and in bloom actually now. So the blooms are a bit different from what I expected, but well, maybe it's because it's first blooming now in my care, so maybe the next blooming will be different. And if not, it's still okay. So, and these are my other Masdevallias. They have no names because I've bought them from a discount rack. They were all dry and they've lost a lot of leaves. And now, half year later, maybe more than half. Yeah, more than half. I bought them in winter. Now they are all in bloom. This one is a strange one because the blooms are quite different, but it's the same plant. And these were summer blooms and these are autumn blooms. So it can look quite interesting. Yeah. The only 2 plants that are not blooming at this moment are the ones that were not discounted. Sorry for the horrible leaves, but I have to cut them. It's this one, and it's in spike again, and this one. Oh, and I also found a fern in one of the pots, so I decided to keep it. So, Masdevallias.